Hey guys, welcome back to Hunt Shoot Off Road, and I'm Bling Bling Bob. And today we're going to look at the basics of reloading, and we're going to start with essentially how to replicate factory style ammunition. But before that, let's head on down to the LGS and grab a couple of the things that I need.
To me, my eyes are glued to my phone, trying to read your signals, but you say you wanna be alone, but the pain in your body takes me out of eyes, and I can't keep feeling you alive, but I know, yeah I know, that the pain in your body plays on so high, and I can't keep trying to deny, but I know, and you know, you just must blow the heartache, 'cause you're scared. You just delay the heartbreak, 'cause you can.
Girl, you say I'm funny,
I worry about nothing.
when you making me your enemy.
God, I see my neck, yeah, I can see what you do. Ooh. God, I see my neck, yeah, I can see what you do. But the beat in your body takes me out of eyes, and I can't keep feeling you alive, but I know, yeah I know, that the beat in your body plays on so high, and I can't keep trying to deny, but I know, and you know, you just postpone the heartache, 'cause you're scared. You just delay.
Right guys, I've grabbed everything I need, so back to the house and get stuck into the reloading. Okay, before you go any further, you need to understand load development. If you don't know what load development is, or you haven't watched my previous video, make sure you stop this video, go watch the load development video. There should be a link in the description, and make sure you understand what load development is and how it's going to benefit you, because if you go and do this without understanding load development and don't bother doing your load development, it could be catastrophic. Let's carry on and get stuck into it. You're going to need a reloading kit consisting of a chamfering and deburring tool, lube pad, funnel, scales, universal loading tray, hand primer, powder thrower and a press, non-kit equipment, safety goggles, nitrile gloves, brake cleaner, 1 litre empty bottle, dish liquid, vernier calipers, primer pocket cleaner, bullet puller, dies and a file, and of course cases, projectiles, primers and powder. So after you've put your safety equipment on, you can proceed to cleaning your cases. Now it's really important to clean your cases because you can pick up dirt and crust and bits of sand and grit and quartz, and this will then mark your dies. And if you mark your dies, then you'll forever after mark your cases. Now if you can't afford a tumbler, it's likely you probably can't afford to replace your dies either. So I've got a simple solution for this, and that is you get the empty 1 litre bottle and you fill it up with warm water, 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid and a squirt of dish liquid, and you then tumble that for about 30 minutes just while you're watching the TV or whatever, and you'll actually be amazed at the results that you can get from that. Before you begin reloading, you'll need to ensure that all the cases are dry, so you can either leave them out overnight or you can use an oven to dry them out in a quicker process. Now be careful, if you leave them in too long, you'll make them go golden brown. Prepare the cases using brake cleaner. We use brake cleaner because it leaves no residue and dries. This will clean out any new packing grease, previous lubricants or other preservatives such as Lanox. Ensure you also clean the neck vent hole. Failure to clean the dies may lead to scratched or dented cases. We see plenty of examples of this on a weekly basis on the Facebook page. Now it's time to fire up the green machine. Find the appropriate size case holder and install it into the press. After reassembling the resizing die from cleaning, we need to adjust the decapping pin. The decapping pin must extrude 10.16mm from the die body. Too much and the pin will bottom out on the cases. Not enough and the case will pinch and jam between the resizing die and the decapping pin. With the case holder on the press, raise the ram to the top of the press. Now screw in the resizing die until it touches the case holder. Now lower the ram again and screw the resizing die a further 1/8 to 1/4 inch of a turn into the press. Raise the ram again and you should feel the press pop as it overcams on the shell holder. You can now wind down the locking nut and set the grub screw. Apply a small amount of RCBS's Case Lube 2 resizing lubricant and rub into the pad well. Don't use a spray, this is for lazy reloaders, as you don't want any lube on the shoulders of the case, as this can cause a dent or collapsation of the case. RCBS Case Lube 2 is definitely considered one of the best for reloading. Before lubing the cases, check for split necks and case head separation. Probably not likely to have occurred if this is only the first time you've reloaded these cases. However, upon second and third time, it is always a possibility that this can occur. Roll several cases together along the surface of the pad, ensuring not to press the shoulder into the pad. After you've done this, press the neck of the case onto the pad so that a small amount of lubricant goes on the inside and outside of the neck. Place a lubricated case into the case holder. Ensuring the case is centered, lower the handle to the full stroke of the press. Raise the handle and remove the case. Repeat. Using a primer pocket cleaning tool, scrape the debris from the primer pocket. With the vernier calipers, measure the cases and ensure they're within the parameters. In this instance, the 223 cases need to be between 44.45mm and 44.7mm. Trim the cases if appropriate. You'll now need to chamfer and deburr the cases. Once we've done this, we need to clean the cases, or at least at a minimum, wipe the cases off to remove any lubricant and debris. Open the primer packet, revealing as many primers as you need for the job. Then put the primer tray upside down on top of the primer packet. Then flip both of them, holding them together to ensure that they don't fall loose onto the ground. Now lift the primer packet off of the tray. Hopefully most of them should already be the right way up. You now need to just jiggle the tray until they right themselves. If you have a stubborn one, you can just right this with your finger. Install the lid and close the hole so the primers cannot fall out accidentally. Now assemble the hand primer. Remove the pin, slide the follower out. Slide the retainer out and install the shell holder. Slide the retainer back in and ensure to align the hole with the primer rod. Then reinstall the follower. Realign the connecting rod from the lever to the primer rod. And the pin. Now install the primer tray and rotate the lid, exposing the hole. Holding it at an angle, give it a shake so the primers make their way down into the handle. Definitely make sure for this step you're wearing safety goggles. If a primer goes off in your face, you'll blast your eyeballs. Place one of the prepped shells in the shell holder and gently squeeze the handle. It should be firm. Continue pressing until it's bedded right down into the primer pocket. Take the shell out and inspect that the primer is below the surface of the case. Failure to fully seat the primer to the base of the case may cause the primer to shift when the firing pin hits the primer, causing a misfire. Set up the powder thrower. In this case, I'm using an RCBS powder thrower on the supplied bracket that is held onto the press with a die. I like to keep it above the bench so I can see and clean up any spillage. Make sure the powder thrower arm is free to operate and doesn't hit the bracket. Before filling up the powder thrower, ensure it is completely clean and no other powders are in there to contaminate it. I like to fill the powder thrower to the top. I find this increases powder charge consistency. Cycle the powder thrower plenty of times before attempting to set the charge weight. This helps settle the powder down, again assisting consistent charge weights. Double tap or single tap, doesn't really matter. Whatever you choose, be consistent, that's the key. Zero your scales, then set the desired weight, as determined from your load development. In this scenario, I was doing 25.1 grains of 2206H. Take your time fine-tuning the powder thrower. Once it's set up, you shouldn't have to mess with it again, but we'll keep an eye on it just in case. Once the powder thrower is set up, place a shell into the powder thrower nozzle. Don't leave any gaps or powder will go everywhere and you will have to check the weight again. Stroking the handle in consistent movements until you get a firm knock at each end of the stroke will ensure you get a full charge every time. I like to check the charge weight every 5th case. Once I'm in a good rhythm and satisfied, I might check every 10th case. Whenever you get a correct charge weight from the scales, use the funnel and tip it into a case. Don't waste time putting it back into the top of the powder thrower. As with the powder thrower nozzle, leave no gaps so you don't spill any powder. Continually top up the powder thrower. I find this really helps with it throwing consistent charge weights. As soon as you're finished with the powder thrower, tip the powder back into the original container. It's critical you keep it in a sealed container to keep any moisture out, which will ruin your powder. This can be a painful process as static can stop the powder coming out freely. Just be patient. Place a resized, primed and charged case into the shell holder and raise the ram to the top. Screw the bullet seating die until it touches the mouth of the case. Unscrew the die one full turn and set the lock ring and grub screw. Back the bullet seater out. Lower the ram and place a bullet into the mouth of the case, attempting to keep it as straight as possible. Raise the ram and attempt to seat the bullet. Lower the ram and remove the round. Now measure the overall length. I'm aiming for the recommended length of 55.88 millimeters. Adjust the bullet seater die in small increments, measuring the overall length every time. Take your time, don't rush. With the soft point projectiles, don't get hung up on the overall length. As you can see here, the length of the bullets can vary considerably. Once you are satisfied, set the bullet seating lock nut and smash out the rest. Rebox your beautifully handmade ammo into some MTM cases or similar. After you've finished with your dies, lightly spray them down with some Lennox to prevent any surface rust. Well look guys, it's that easy. You could knock out 100 to 200 in 2 to 4 hours, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but look, take your time and you will get great results. Hey guys, any further questions, please hit us below in the comments and I'll either endeavour to answer them there or make another video showing further details if that's what you require. I'd love to say a massive thanks to the guys from Rebel Gunworks. They allowed me to film in their store, and also a big shout out to Nioa who have helped support this project. Hey guys, any further questions, please hit us below in the comments and I'll either endeavour to answer them there or make another video showing further details if that's what you require. I'd love to say a massive thanks to the guys from Rebel Gunworks. They allowed me to film in their store, and also a big shout out to Nioa who have helped support this project. Well guys, if you enjoyed the video, give us a big thumbs up, make sure you hit subscribe and also hit that knockout bell button, and look, until next time, keep shooting, get out there and have fun, and most importantly, get them big boars. Alright, catch us later.